Dom Levesque, tell me about your vision, man.
My vision is very. I guess what I try to do in life is have a positive impact on the world, right? So I've always tried this from what I've done in music, from what I do in business, from what I do writing books, right? So and if I tailor my vision for organizations or for my career is to help organizations thrive to a powerful talent ecosystem, right? That's what I want to do is help organizations transform the world of work into a better place through a powerful talent ecosystem and culture.
Dude, that's huge. And for those who aren't quite able to catch that, you younger visionaries, Dom's talking about infrastructure. He's world class at this stuff. Their company's doing 250,000 monthly in revenues right now. They're moving towards 6 to 8 million and beyond. It's going to be amazing. I've been really, really excited to get to know him behind the scenes with Ryan Westfall as well, 537BD, who's been helping explore like, okay, if we all want to do this and we've got 8 billion people in the world to help, then it takes great minds to dive in. So today, y'all are in for a super treat. We're going to come right back. We're going to dive in further to Dom's vision. We'll see you on the other side. All right. Welcome in to Vision Pros Live with Jackson Callum. I'm your show host. We will be doing interviews for visionary entrepreneurs and guest leaders who are building fantastic visions out there. What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Vision Pros Live. I'm your show host, Jackson Callum, founder and CEO of First Class Business, and I am stoked to have Dom Levesque on the show today. Dom has superpowers when it comes to building businesses. He was also in a band that toured with Sum 41 and got to do some really cool things with Warped Tour back in the day. One of the secrets, visionaries, about entrepreneurs and people who are successful, musicians. They're like super genius people. It's just true. Okay. I'm going to own it too. There's a certain ability about people who learn multiple languages and also different cultures, and learning an instrument is like that. But Dom also, like, if you're not carefully listening, you can't even hear his accent. And I think that's something that's so important to honor because, again, somebody who dedicates themselves to communicate effectively and understand the culture of people that's not even their first language, like that is extreme dedication to love and service and understand how to help people. And it's something that's near and dear to our heart as we have that mission of helping Latinos worldwide and bridging the economic gap between North America, South America, and the rest of the world. So excited to have him on stage. Of course, we also got homestudiomastery.com featured on here with Junaid, where he helps you build out world-class podcast studios. And then Danny Brissell. I hope that all of us lean into giving back today. If you know somebody who's a parent of a child who struggles to maybe listen or struggles to read, then absolutely send them to Dr. Danny Brissell, DannyBrissell.com. He's got the reading habit. We've helped Danny turn this program into a freemium business model where you can actually get access for free to the materials. He helps parents inspire their children to love to read. He's hilarious. He's great at it. He travels the world doing this for parents, for teachers, for principals all throughout the world. I highly recommend checking out his resources. As I mentioned, if you know somebody who has that struggle, and here's a hint, out of the non-readers, the people who struggle to read, 4 out of 5 of them are boys. It's not really as big of a problem for girls. Girls tend to dive in. They've perhaps evolved more than us. But if you know somebody who's got a son and they happen to be struggling with the whole education factor, then why not give it a shot? Give Danny a call. This is near and dear to my heart. And then, of course, there's the Water Project. The Water Project helps millions of people gain access to clean water, something we take for granted. I hope that you lean into that with us and look and see what you can do with the Water Project. We'll drop the links in the show itself. So without further ado, we're going to fill up your glass. We're going to fill up your education. We're going to do that with Dom Levesque right now. Dom, welcome in to Vision Pros Live, man.
Super happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Jackson.
Absolutely. All right, Dom. So we set the stage for being able to build these ecosystems for businesses. Let's talk about that background. Where did your vision come for this?
Yeah, I actually think there's a lot in a person's history, in a person's career. We're shaped by our background. We're shaped by our history. We're shaped by what we have done. And I'm probably a very good example of that, right? Everything I have done from my childhood leading to today has brought me to that vision, right? So I started as a young, of course, I'm from Canada. Everybody plays hockey, but I started as a young hockey player. And I grew up learning losing, how to lose, how to win, resilience, working in teams, leading teams. I was a coach, I was a captain, I was a goalie, right? All of these things actually helped me shape my personality. And then you talked about it a bit earlier, but I played in a punk band after that, so that's why all the tattoos, right? So of course I'm still a big rocker at heart, and I'm still a punk rocker, and it was so much learnings as well, because that my first you get creativity, building as teams, traveling with a band, sleeping in a van, sleeping in bad places, spending a lot of time. When you're tired, you got to show up no matter what. You end up doing great gigs, but you also end up doing really bad gigs. And then you sign contracts with companies that try to steal from you, and a bunch of critics that try to sign. So you learn business. So through hockey, you learn so much. Through music, you learn so much. And then you get a bit more prepared after university into the world of work, right? And that has shaped me through all these experiences and building companies, building teams.
Dude, you said that so well, and I got to touch the surface on the music side. I didn't get to dive behind the scenes on it, but I've watched a lot of the movies about Elvis and about Johnny Cash and about um uh what is it? Whether it's 8 Mile, what's the one about Compton? What was that movie called? Man, I can't remember the name.
I can remember.
I can't remember it, but it talks about their contract and their manager stealing from them, and what that looks like. It happens all the time in the
Oh yeah.
music industry. But if you're the one going through it, right, your refiner's fire is just heavy on you. Like, you got to learn how to negotiate. You got to learn how to make those deals. You got to learn how to find that next gig. You got to learn how to be booed off stage. Probably. Have you ever been booed off stage?
Not booed off stage, but
Oh,
booed.
cool. You're actually a super great musician.
Booed, yes, booed off stage, no, but right, and you said it, right? We had great contract, we had great partners, but there was also guys that tried, like finding out who you can trust, who you can't trust, and all these stories about all those great musicians around the world. And by the way, Johnny Cash is tattooed right here, the Men in Black, right? So that this is my background. This is where I come from. This is the people I love, the stories I love.
Absolutely. NWA. I cannot
There
give
you
them a
go.
shout out. It was NWA, straight out of Compton. Phenomenal movie, phenomenal musicians. And again, these parallels, when you can tie these parallels together, visionaries, and see how your background is related to your path, but also how these types of experiences outside your own follow Dom's story. Take a look and see, okay, if he knows that, right? If he was on hockey teams for that long and working as a goalie, working as a coach, he knows different angles of systems and departments and operations. And at the end of the day, this is also why athletes and organizations of sports make so much money. A big reason why is because they've learned how to systematize their operations, and you can see what's going on. You can see so many of their successes too. So Dom, thanks for helping us see that. I'm curious, man, what's your why?
My why is helping, right? So I've come from a place of helping and sharing and trying to make people around me, and one of my former boss, she's incredible, by the way, and one of my last leader in Ronstadt, she's an awesome woman, and she used to say, Dom, you're the guy that says the most, you say the word fun the most I've ever heard anybody. So my why is to make people have fun, right? Work has to be fun, life has to be fun. I like to do that around me. So of course I can be a really tough boss. We need to execute, we need to perform, and that's how we've built a company in just 6 months with 250K plus in revenue, and all of that coming in the next few weeks, right? So we have those projects, those investments. We'll be in amongst the largest firms in Canada in just a few years, and that's what we want to do. But the way we do that, we can't do that if we're not having fun, if our culture is not the main driver, if it's not right. And you talked earlier about processes, and I firmly believe good companies run with solid processes and systems and technology, but none of that happens without great culture, great people, and having fun. And that's so important for us.
Dang. And you have so much experience with that, having led bands. Like I just can't imagine like what it's like the Warp Tour and being there and doing that over and over. And so you are like a generating machine of fun through all those experiences and through the sports stuff too. That's crazy.
Yeah, and we did actually one date at the Warm Tour, not the whole tour, but it was actually a whole lot of fun. We played on one of the stage with all of these bands and see that we played with Sum 41, as you mentioned, but you go on stage and your job is to make it fun for people, make people enjoy the night, make people sing, want to dance. And if when you're in that mindset, you understand that you're created something, you're created a moment. So every time I speak, every time I give conferences, every time I speak to my teams, every time I speak to a client, to a prospect, it's always about creating a good moment, creating a partnership that actually create something positive for everybody that's involved, right? If you can do that carefully, or you actually have a lot of power in the relationship, and that's how you create the most amount of value.
I love it. Here's what I heard, and here's what I love about what you said. Visionaries pick up the little details about how leaders put things down. Here I was talking about Dom being on the work, right, and playing in bands, and really what comes from being able to organize his own schedule with his band and knowing where they're going and being part of that process. But instead of allowing us to believe, oh, he's done that the whole Warp Tour, he immediately honed in on humility and set the record straight of Jackson. I did Warp Tour one day. That doesn't reflect all of the other things Dom did with that band. I know that, but that humility, the ability to hone in on let's stick with the full truth on this. Let's make sure people don't misinterpret the truth. That's an amazing leadership attribute. I don't see a lot of leaders really diving into that, but those are the types of leaders that I want to work with. Dom, what role does humility have in your life as a leader? How did you develop the desire to make sure records are set straight? Where does that come from?
That's a great question. I always, and that's something very important to my heart. So thanks for the feedback. I very much appreciate it. But leading with authenticity and transparency is how you create deep and meaningful connections. So being humble is also being curious. Because if you think you know stuff and you're always about knowing and you think you're the smartest guy in the room, you will miss a whole lot of very important elements. So it's okay to know. It's okay to know you know, but the most critical element is be curious. Care about people, care about their stories, cares about what they think, because this is where the value of diversity, this is where the value of organizations and teams, where there's economies of scale and the power of the sum of all the individuals, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I feel is so important, is the power that gets created through curiosity, to being humble, to being there to learn. Anybody you speak with, you learn stuff. And that's what I've learned through all those years. And it was so good, because that wasn't something initially. When you become a boss, you think you need to show that you know, right? So you're going out, you're trying to be powerful, and then you realize that, oh yeah, that moves, but that's usually short term. If you really want to move people, you got to move people with the heart, and they'll only connect the heart if they have purpose, and if they feel heard, they feel connected. That's how you will create something magical, way beyond what the head's going to produce.
I love that. This is an 18-minute masterclass on leadership, joy, fun, doing things the way that we love to do things as well. I'm super excited about this. Dom, the people, if you guys want to get in touch with Dom, you can find him on LinkedIn. And again, the last name Levesque, as you can see, it's spelt on the screen. For us Americans, you might struggle with that a little bit. Levesque is how I think most people in the U.S. would say that. And just like my last name, hard to find. But Dom, you can find him. Next Wave, we'll dive in further in a future interview. If you'd come back, we'd love to have you.
I'd love to come back. This was great, Jackson. You're awesome, and I think you're a great host. And I'll be very happy to come back and talk further. If anybody wants to reach out, LinkedIn, I'm easy to find. By email, my name, Dominic.my last name, Levesque @nextwave.com. Reach out, connect, speak. My 2 books are available on Amazon under my name, so very easy to find. And one of them is already a bestseller in the US. So check it out. And thank you for having me, Jackson. This was awesome.
For sure. Absolutely, Dom. So Vision Pros, those of you who want to join us on stage here, you don't have to be doing 250K a month to be on the stage. You can be at the very beginning of your vision. Heck, you could be Elon Musk or Bill Gates. Any of you guys want to come on and share your story with us, let us know. In the top right corner, you'll see a button that says Be Our Guest. Click that button, book your appointment, come and talk to us. As long as you're giving back to the world and helping uplift others, we want to hear about your vision. We want to honor it. And we want to see you thrive. We'll see you in the next episode, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.